Check it out. Here's the problem. God is a judge. Yes? Here's the problem. God does not deliberate. What's deliberation? Deliberation is the process of forming an opinion by evaluation and comparing ideas. God doesn't do any of that because God is omniscient, right? So God is omniscient, which means he does not deliberate, but deliberation seems intrinsic to the term judgment. If you're making a judgment, if I'm judging between two things, that means I'm ignorant, at least during the judgment process. So are we saying God doesn't judge, or God doesn't judge in the way humans judge? But if we say that God isn't judging the way humans are judging, what do we mean when we say God judges? Because the word judgment is kind of set within a linguistic framework that's only made sense of in terms of our experience. So how does God judge? Maybe the way that God judges is kind of like an ocean. God is the ocean, we are the fish. Being outside of the ocean as a fish constitutes a trespass, being outside of your natural boundaries, being outside of where you're supposed to be. In that way, the judgment is carried out in principle, right? The fish is outside of the sea and it immediately begins choking. It immediately lacks oxygen and is in the process of dying because it's trespassed outside of its boundary. No matter how it got out of the boundary, the consequence is entailed by the action itself. It isn't that the ocean is judging the fish. Not at least in the way, that human beings judge. Maybe God is a judge in that way. Maybe there is an eternal verdict that is waiting for those who are outside of relationship with God. Maybe that's the judgment. Where am I off? P1, deliberation requires ignorance. P2, God is not ignorant. P3, God does not deliberate. Where am I off?